Anyway, the next day. How do we get to the next day? Oh, no, it reads it for us. I already read it from the piece of paper though, so I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I've already read it from the piece of paper though. I suffered myself. I ain't reading the text. You hear the hush of waves around you first, feeling your body gently sway along with them. What the fuck is that word? You blearily open your eyes and expect to take in the dark blue of the sea. Instead, your eyes take in the wooden walls of the ship, and when you suck in a breath, your lungs fill with air. It takes you a second to remember what happened. The chase, the baby kraken. You look down at your blankets and flex your fingers in them, adjusting to the fabric beneath your skin. And then your shoulder thrums with pain. You wince and press a hand to it, recalling the fight, the spear, and then the twins standing forward, two kind sailors who took you in, patched you up. Something shifts at your side, and you look down, finding the small drawstring pouch Ford had given you last night. A gentle feeling stirs in your chest. You lift the pouch, setting it in your palm. The fabric is soft, velvet. When your fingers run across it, you pull away, faint smudges of red. Best not to get that in your eye. You remember? You lower the pouch in your lap and look towards Ford's desk, finding a plate of food and a bottle of water. Your stomach grumbles. When had you last eaten? You glance at the closed door, pause a moment, and sit up on the couch, your bare feet planting on the chilled floor. You shiver as you pull the blankets closer around yourself. Ford forgot to give you something to wear. That sounds like him. That sounds like him. Then, just as you stand on wearily legs... Shut your bitch ass up, phone! I hear you plugging back out and plugging back in. Shut your bitch ass up, phone! Then, just as you stand on weary legs, something falls next to you, a sweater and pants. Oh, so he did not forget. Okay. You wonder whose clothes they are as you change into them. Well, too big either way. I'm tiny. I'm 5 feet tall. These guys are like in their 6 feet. At best, these two twins are like 6 feet. I'm 5 foot. I'm tiny. What the fuck was that sound? When you're done, you walk towards Ford's desk with unsteady legs, the ship's gentle rocking a challenge on your balance. Finally, you sit on the chair behind Ford's desk and pull the plate of food towards you, careful not to wrinkle any of the papers strewn across its surface. Flat discs of bread stacked on top of each other. Pancakes! I love pancakes! Yay! But I also like waffles. I would have been fine with either. I like waffles and I like pancakes. I like them both. Is there a combination where we can put waffles and pancakes together? Because that'll be the dream. You haven't had these before, but you take the utensil next to the plate and dig in. The meal is cold, but you're grateful for something to eat. Now that you think about it, you haven't been able to relax for a meal in ages, ever since the others. Your fingers tighten around the utensil. You've been swimming on your own ever since. The ocean has always been a struggle, but to brave it alone, to search for and conquer the one thing that would make a home a home. What? You're both grateful and horrified that the baby kraken chased you here, of all places. You try to focus on your current situation as you eat and allow yourself to savor the moment, shoving your worries aside the best you can. For the first time in a while, you feel rested, safe. You wish this feeling could last. When you finish your meal, your eyes trail around the room, able to see everything now that sunlight streams through the window. There's everything! You glance at the closed door again, stand and pace the room for a brief moment. You don't think it'd hurt if you look around for a bit, but you can also use some fresh air. No, I want to explore. I want to know. I read that book's title wrong twice and then realized what it said. This book here. Right around here. I read it wrong. What it says is Stan's scrapbook. I read it wrong twice. I read it as Stan's strip book. Did a double take. I went, what the fuck? Then I it as... Then I read it as Stan's Strap book and I got even more confused. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? No, it's scrapbook. I can't read for shit. You approach the wall and lock eyes with a framed photo by the window. Oh my god, there's an in-detailed but look at them! It's so cute! What the fuck? There's a family of four, each of them hugging and grinning happily. You recognize Stan and Four, but you don't know who the younger two are. They're kids, maybe? At the corner of the photo, a folded letter sits tucked there, covered in stickers. You wonder how far away Stan and Ford are from home. It looks warm in the photo, happy. Your eyes continue to trail along the walls, finding notes and papers full of Ford's handwriting and sketches. You could explore this study for days. This one. You run your fingers along loose papers, settling on one tucked under an envelope. It's not finished. Mabel and Dipper. Stan and I are doing well. You skim the rest of the letter, but you know you shouldn't be looking at anything too personal. As much as you want to keep reading, you return the letter to its place. You run your eyes along the papers strewn along the desk. Each one is full of elegant handwriting and illustrations. Unable to help yourself, you lift one of them and read through it, your interest growing as you do. What? Maybe I shouldn't have picked this up. Japan. Yet another marvel my brother and I have come across in the Arctic. I think I had a stroke reading that forward. You read further down, eyes catching on a detailed illustration of what looks stars with faint wings. After Stan fell asleep at camp, I decided to revisit its comforting depths to ease my mind. One can only assume... Joe! I'm okay. Excuse me? One can only assume how surprised I was when the sparse walls now glowed with a blue brilliance. And all around these red arrows point to the illustration, along with some smaller notes and a code you can't decipher. So these are Ford's entries. No wonder he was so curious about you. You pick up another paper, find something hastily scribbled out, and you realize you can read what's under it. It's your name. A feeling you can't distinguish blossoms in your chest. Hi! You wrote my name! Holy shit! You run your fingers over the scribbles and set the paper aside. Holy shit, he wrote my name! I think I actually... I can't actually decipher this. 1 second. Okay, so a hashtag about an X, a skull, glasses, X, hashtag, bomb, dollar, and dollar, dynamite, question mark, and star, boat, question mark, question mark. For anyone wondering, it says Stan was here, Ford too. That's adorable. That's adorable. It's nothing revolutionary, it's just adorableness. You find symbols engraved on the front of the desk worn with age. You're not sure what they mean. It's just wholesomeness. You find a Polaroid next. The handwriting is different, rough. Oh, yeah, that's Stan. You pick up the photo and smile at the image of the both brothers posing. They're on the ship, Stan pulling his brother in close with an open-mouthed smile while Ford gives a bashful grin. First day at sea with this knucklehead. Can't help but smile. You may not be as familiar with Stan yet, but the photo tells enough about the two of them. They're close. You set the Polaroid down. You're near the harpoon next, careful not to touch it. You shudder to remember metal piercing your shoulder during the attack. Your hand goes over your bandage, and you step away, trying not to think about it too much. Okay, this book, which is the D.D. and Morty. You can read this book titles better, now that sunlight streams in through the window. The first one says Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. You pick it up and flip through the pages, realizing it's a game. A really complicated game. A few loose pages fall out, and you study them as you pick them up, finding numbers and illustrations of characters. Maybe you'll ask Ford about it later. I will have a fucking headache, a migraine, and then a stroke if I try and understand D.D. and Morty. I already have that when I try and understand Dungeons and Dragons. The other book. You spot a book with a rough handwritten title, Stan's Scrapbook. You carefully take it and flip to the first page, finding a note in Ford's neat handwriting. For the times you need to remember, Ford. And beneath it, I remember just fine. You don't really know what they mean. You flip another page and find rows of Polaroids full of twins and their adventures. They've been everywhere, places you've never seen before. As you flip through a few more pages, you find doodles and notes in both brothers' handwriting that fill the empty spaces. After a while, you put the scrapbook away, eyes running over endless jars, crystals, mirrors, and boxes. And then the final one is beneath my head. It's this. Your eyes run along the bookshelves, unable to name half of the oddities that sit within them. On the bottom shelf, you find a blue scroll of paper. Lift it and find it be the ship's blueprints. You study it for a moment and set it back in its place. I understood none of that. Is there anything else? Nope. You give another look around the room and realize that you could spend all day exploring its depths, but you don't want to pry too much. Instead, you adjust your borrowed clothes and open the door, peering into the hallways. It's quiet, open. With still and steady legs, you walk down the halls and map out your surroundings. You walk past doors on either side of the hall, curious but knowing better than to open them. There's another door at the end of the ship, and as you pass by it, faint snores sound through. You linger a moment, smile, and then head back down the hall and up the stairs. Best not to disturb whoever's sleeping. That's probably Stan. You shield your eyes from the sun as you come up from below deck. You're still inside the boat's small cabin, its walls of metal and glass protecting you from the elements. On your left, you see a small kitchenette equipped with an induction sink and a small fridge and wooden cabinets, presumably filled with cookware and supplies. A coffee machine on the countertop, a light indicating that it's keeping its contents warm. The carafe? The carafe? Is still half full. Further down, you see rows of built-in shelves and cabinets designed to maximize storage space. Your eyes follow the shelves and land on one of the boat's double helms. Navigation equipment beeps softly above the wheel. You aren't sure how to read any of that. To your right, there is a table and seating, all furniture affixed to the wall to prevent it from sliding around in rough waters. You know from experience just how unforgiving the sea can be. Look out the windows at the deck. Yeah, that's a deck. Only a short while ago, the baby Kraken had thrown you aboard this vessel, landing wounded and bleeding at the mercy of two strangers. Their expressions had been nothing but ones of worry and concern. They weren't the kind of looks you were used to receiving. Anyway. As you look around the deck, your eye catches movement across the cabin. Oh my gosh, Ford. Does that mug say bottomless pit of coffee? It says bottomless pit of coffee. Took me a moment. Ford is out on the front deck, leaning against the railing. He hasn't noticed you yet, just yet. Damn, he's horrible at his surroundings. He's holding a mug of coffee in one hand, his fingers curled around it, covering up its design. In his other hand, he's reading what appears to be a journal of some kind. You decide to head outside and greet him. Brisk wind whips around you as you open the door. You suck in a deep breath, bracing yourself against the familiar cold. It had been so warm inside the cabin. Clearly, you weren't very quiet about it. Ford turns to greet you when you exit the cabin. Oh, hey! He smiles at you and closes the book in his hand. He tucks it carefully into his jacket. It's good to see you're finally awake. I hope the accommodations were to your liking. I know it isn't much, especially with an injury. His gaze lingers on your shoulder and his brows furrow at the memory. You're quick to assure him. It was surprisingly comfortable. I'm happy to hear it. As you may have gathered, we're a bit tight for space, but you would be surprised how many things on a boat can be used as a berth. What the fuck is a berth? Even the cabin seating can be used as 2 additional beds if you... Hold on. He pauses, looking you over. You swallow, suddenly self-conscious at being scrutinized so closely. Hi, why are you staring at me? I'm not a piece of meat, I'm a fish. You recall how intrigued Ford had been with you as he'd patched you up the night before. You do your best not to stammer. What is it? Is that my sweater? So you didn't give me these clothes? Aw, shit, man. You examined the clothes you'd put on, assuming they had been there for your sake. Perhaps you'd been mistaken. Aw, shit, man. Is it? Where'd you get that? Oh, fuck. No, I stole his clothes. This is a great second impression. Not first, second. This is great. Uh-huh, we stole his clothes. Or Stan gave them. One of the two. Either way. Girl, I am not being confident about stealing some goddamn clothes. I'm worrying about it. Like, what the fuck? Were these not for me? The fuck? You can't help but worry that he might think you took his clothes without permission. You did go through their belongings, after all. They were just there when I woke up. There was a plate of food there, too. I thought they were for me. I didn't think I should wander around without any clothes on. I feel like, yes, that's a great idea. Don't wander around with your tits out and your pussy out. Thank you in any case. Ford considers your words for a moment, and then a look of understanding crosses his features. Ah, I see. I'm afraid I can't take credit for that. It must have been Stanley who left them for you. Suppose it's only right that it's my clothes. It was my spear after all. He was like, ah, shit, I'm not giving them my clothes. I'm giving them your clothes. Fuck you, brother. This is your fault. Oh, wait, a plate of food? Hastily, Ford pulls his journal back out. Ah, yes, this motherfucker could eat pancakes. This is journal worthy. This motherfucker can eat pancakes. He abandons his cup of coffee in favor of pulling out a pen and balancing it precariously on the gunwale of the ship. Sir, your mug's gonna fall. With Ford's hand out of the way, you're able to make out the words bottomless pit of coffee etched faintly into the ceramic of the mug. I assume he left you pancakes. What? You raise an eyebrow at him. What? Yeah, flat, bready, maybe some hair in them. But more importantly, did you eat them? Hi, did you consume his hair? His body hair? Did you consume that? He looks at you expectantly. Was I not supposed to? No, you were supposed to eat, but they probably had hair in it, so, I mean, yes, of course, it's fine that you did. They were for you. It's when they're palatable to you. You hesitate, not sure what he means. There had been some hair in it, admittedly, but like, huh? They were fine, I think. I mean, I plucked the hair out. That was easy to do. I just plucked it out. They were a little cold, but otherwise good, I guess. Ford writes down something, and it's then that it clicks for you. This muff. Oh. Stop writing about me just because I ate some fucking pancakes. Dude, stop. Stop. I just ate some pancakes. This is not a revolutionary discovery. He still doesn't think you're human, even with all your efforts to convince him. He hadn't been swayed. Then you catch a glimpse of the journal in Ford's hand, his pen scratching fresh cursive onto the rough paper, and see a sketch of yourself fast asleep on the couch. This motherfucker was staring at me. Ah! 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 The Ford must have drawn while you were sleeping. Please. I'm gonna stare at it. I'm gonna stare at. Did you get anything about me right? I must stare. I will stare. I'm gonna stare so much at this. There we go. You shift around, him leaning in to get a better view. Alongside the illustration, there are notes primarily about your condition and any changes in your sleep patterns. You've only seen me sleep once. What the fuck do you mean, patterns? You spot a passage of unrestful sleep and see the word nightmare written in big bold print with several question marks beside it. Ford notes your gaze and straightens, angling it towards you. You were asleep for a couple of days. A couple days?! I was conked the fuck out so hard! Holy shit! I got stitched up and have died for 2 days. Hence, he lifts the journal a fraction, clears his throat, and continues. When you didn't wake up, we started to worry. Yeah, I fucking died for like 2 days. Sorry about that. You tear your eyes from the page to look up at him. Hold on, a couple of days? Yes, which is why I'm glad to see you up and about. Your condition looks more improved from before. Even with the whiskey, the risk of infection was still fairly high, so Stan and I took turns keeping an eye on you. That would explain why you felt so rested upon waking. You can't remember the last time you slept longer than 5 hours at a time, let alone days. My body went from fight or flight to like, peace. My body went from fight or flight to like absolute peace. Kinda like Ford. Aww. My cheesecake. Aww. I don't know how long that was on there. I don't want to eat it anymore. There was a fly on my cheesecake. I don't know how long that fly was on there for. I don't want to eat the cheesecake anymore. There wasn't even that much cheesecake left. I was doing so well! I was doing so well. And now it's all gone. That dumbass fly. I hate it. You turn back to the journal, studying Ford's illustration of you. Ford follows your line of sight and hastens to explain further. Journaling helps me process things, thoughts, feelings. I suppose I found comfort in drawing you like that. I hope you don't mind. He seems very sheepish admitting this, and you look closer at the way he's drawn you. It's almost tender. He's depicted the scene to include the way the sunlight falls onto your form from the window behind his desk. He must have drawn it from there.
Fucking hell, is amazing. Like, holy shit, the drawing is immaculate. It's perfection.
Finally, some good fucking food. You haven't had someone watch over you with such concern in a long time. To be honest, you're not fully sure how to feel about it, but it is nice. I don't mind. Ford manages a laugh. It sounds as though he'd been holding his breath in anticipation of your answer. That's a relief. You had me worried there. I hadn't thought much of it at the time, but Stanley did warn me it might seem creepy. Yeah, well, I've been through worse. I've been through worse. Been through genuinely probably more depicting creepier issues when I fall asleep. The Freak Circus being a massive example. There was something in my mouth. I was starting to think he was right. I usually am right. Lots of things you do are creepy. Shush, he's autistic. Leave him be. He doesn't realize it. Distracted as you and Ford had been by the journal, you hadn't noticed Stan leaving the cabin to come greet you. He must have gotten up while you were talking with Ford. He's holding 2 mugs in his hand and offers one to you. You take it, the cup warm as you wrap your fingers around it. So, which creepy habit of Sixers are we talking about? Ford rolls his eyes and tucks his journal back into his coat again, then retrieves his own mug from the place on the gunwale. We were just discussing the dietary restrictions. Apparently I'm not the only one who doesn't like hair in their food. I've told you before, it adds texture! What the fuck kind of texture? I'm scared. I can't even handle hair being in my mouth in general. What the fuck kind of texture are you talking about? And here I thought you liked my stand cakes. You sip at your coffee you offered as you listen to their mild banter. It's all in good fun. Their light jabs at each other's expense had no hostility, and instead seemed to be the result of a strong, close bond that was broken for like 30 years, but here we are, I guess. Actually, more than 30 years, but my point still stands. How nice it must have been to have someone like that looking out for you. Just then a small alert sounds off from a device on Ford's wrist, which you now notice resembles a radar more than it does a watch. The fucking beep beep McGee. The debate about the nutritional value of body hair cuts off abruptly. Looks like we're getting close. Getting close to what? Can't help but ask, curiously peering over at Ford's radar. You're familiar with these waters, but everything looks so different above the waters. You can only guess at where they might be going. The warmth of the cabin embraces you as you slide the door closed behind you. A soft beeping emanates from the equipment at the helm, mimicking that of Ford's wrist device. They must be synced. Since you've been asleep, we charted a course for the nearest village. It would have been a real problem if your injury had taken a turn for the worst. Plus, we're still short on supplies. That too. So we reasoned that it would be better to be closer to land for the time being, at least while you're still healing. You think back to the baby Kraken attack, and you can't help but agree. You know from experience that they've tended to avoid shallow waters. I think that's a good idea. As long as the boat hugged the coastline, you would be much safer than out at the open sea. I'm just worried we got here so quick. Our engine's not that big. That's likely thanks to Fiddleford's impressively efficient engine design. Small, it's quite powerful. Yeah, Fiddleford is very good when he's not, you know. Cuckoo! But he's not cuckoo anymore, so yippee! Ford smiles fondly at the name. You assume it must be a close friend of his that, 30 years. Damn, really? I'll have to look at it again. You try to peer over Ford's shoulder and make heads or tails of the images on the screen. You don't have much luck. How long will it take until you arrive? Ford glances down at the radar, seemingly calculating the distance in his head because he's that fucking smart! Because he's a fucking nerd emoji. Maybe about... Stan cuts him off, tapping you both on the shoulder and pointing out the front window. Why don't you see it for yourself? It's like right there, dumbass. Oh, it's a cold place. Oh my god. You and Ford both look up and through the window to find a large sloping landmass in the distance, obscured by frosted fog. As the ship nears, the fog thins and reveals snowy mountains dotted with cabins and evergreens. Whoa. I have not seen a village in a hot minute, or ever, I don't know. Under the sunlight, the snow glitters like a beacon. You can't help but admire a view. But as the mountain draws closer, and you recall your few encounters with human villages, unease settles under your skin. Before you can dwell on the feeling, Ford claps his hands together and moves aside. Just as I expected. Wordlessly, Stan takes hold of the helm and guides them towards the harbor, fingers sliding over the buttons and levers with practiced ease. Do you have the list, Stanley? Should be on the table where I left it, asked. Ford nods, rummaging through the paper strewn across the kitchen table. After a moment, he finds a piece of paper and tilts his glasses at it. We'll need to add medical supplies. He grabs a carpenter's pencil from the ground, and what the fuck is a pencil doing on the ground, and quickly scribbles something onto the paper. What about you, Alice? Stan looks over his shoulder and raises a brow at you. You alright with Ford's getup, or do you want something new? I wear big clothes anyway. I wear clothes that are too big for my tiny ass twig body. I'm fine with these. I'm alright with these. I don't want to cause any trouble. Oh, we can cover it. It'll mean less laundry. You'll need a coat as well. It's freezing outside. They can borrow one of mine. Most places won't have a good enough one. Stan squints at the horizon through his glasses, mapping out the harbor. Pretty empty. I don't see a place for security either. Is that supposed to be... sure. This'll be another one of those smaller villages. We'll make do. Excuse me a moment. Ford pockets the paper list of supplies they need and excuses him to head downstairs. He returns shortly after with one of Stan's coat and smiles and hands it to you. You put it on, wrapping its warmth around yourself. Thank you. You watch as Ford returns to his brother's side, checking the blinking dots and lines and calculations on the navigation systems. Even though the port looks simple, the two of them mumble about directions for a moment. You hear something about navigating shallow waters, wind conditions, and potential obstacles. Eventually, they agree on the white crush. Expertly steers into the relatively empty harbor, decking the skip with skilled ease, because I can't fucking say R's right sometimes. As the brothers part from the helm, Stan sends you a smile. Wait a sec, too. Don't fucking call... Never heard anyone call me that, but okay, here we go, I guess. We gotta make sure we're tied up. The brothers exit the cabin and you walk to the helm to watch them through the window. They move together with a single unit. Ford lends a supporting hand as Stan pushes himself up and out of the boat, feet planting on the rickety wooden docks. When he's steady, Ford grabs some rope. Rope you remember getting tangled in the night you were thrown aboard, and tosses it to him. Expertly, Stan ties different parts of the boat to the dock and brushes off his hands with a grin. Anyway. With a flourish from Stan, Ford nods and opens the cabin door. Ready? You nod and follow him onto the front deck, eyes adjusting to the glare of sunlight. It's harsher now that you're outside. Ford draws up a stool and motions you forward. I have read enough fanfic to think that something bad is gonna happen in this village. I have read enough fanfiction to think that something bad is gonna happen in this village. On the dock, Stan has a hand extended and waiting. With a bit of hassle, you're guided out of the boat and onto the dock, splaying out your arms as the flimsy wood shivers beneath you. Stan laughs. Rickety, isn't it? Wonder when's the last time they repaired this thing? Probably never. The dock creaks again as Ford joins and the three of you head down the walkway, your breath clouding in the chilled air. You come upon a station and find a map at one end and a man waiting at the other. Stan jabs a thumb in the man's direction. I'll go check in with the dock end. Ford nods at him and then at you. We'll check out the map and see what they have. Together, you and Ford head towards the map, which is posted on a bulletin board, encased in wood and glass to protect it from the elements. Frosted papers line the outside of the map. As he examines the map, Ford traces a finger along the roads leading out from the harbor, as if trying to find the most efficient route. Can't help but wonder. Watch the careful movement of his hands. I can't fucking read! Remembering how confident his movements were when you stitched your shoulder back together. He was so gentle with you, even if he insisted on asking you questions. Then he pauses, his finger hovering over a peculiar-looking symbol on the map. What do you suppose this is? Most of the others have been recognizable enough, but as he trails off, you look more closely at the map yourself. The symbol in question resembles a square with a ladder. Can't fathom what they might mean. Not sure, to be honest. While Ford puzzles over them buildings, you notice that the corners of the map have been obscured by frost. You use your sleeve to wipe it away, revealing the map's key icons. Can you fuck off, Fly? You've already done enough irreparable damage. Go away. Fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, I think I just found the answer. You tap Ford's arm lightly, pointing at the map key beside you. You manage to catch his attention a little more successfully than you thought. A little regard for personal space, Ford leans over you to get a better look, and in that moment, he is so close you can feel the radiating warmth of his body heat. You're glad that you have the cold to blame for the heat rising to your face. Can you get that? Of course, it's a community fridge. What the fuck? You're silently grateful for the opportunity to draw your focus elsewhere, because what the fuck does that mean? Ah yes, ladder square. That must mean a community fridge. Huh? A what? Ford finally pulls back and adjusts his glasses, having sufficiently studied the map's keys. It's an underground cellar, that explains the ladder, typically dug 12 or more feet below the surface to access the layer of permafrost. Can you stop fucking a nerd emojing me for like 5 seconds, please? When you continue to blink at him, brows furrowed, he continues with a sparkle in his eyes. Permafrost is a layer of ground that stays permanently frozen throughout the year. It harbors the perfect conditions to store food, especially meat like whale. And with a large enough cellar, it can hold the rations of a village like this for an entire year. Fascinating, isn't it? But I'm getting ahead of myself. He turns his attention back to the map. Seems that they also have a whole line of local shops alongside a fishmonger, bakery. No! Good. They have a pharmacy. You look back at the map, studying the path of shops. Your eyes trail to the papers that flutter on the outside of the bulletin board, frosted by the elements. Curious, you smooth one of them out, frost crinkling beneath your touch. My judge on the fan fiction was right. Something bad was gonna happen in this goddamn village. A sailor's face looks back at you, and beneath it, the large blocky letters, missing. I found something else. Ford leans back in, fingers brushing yours as he angles the paper towards him, his brows raised. Interesting. He brings out his journal and writes something down, unfurling the other posters with equal interest. Yes, my fanfiction senses were tingling, and oh god, they were right. He brings out his journal and writes something down, unfurling the other posters with equal interest. Each poster says the same thing, printed with a different face. Dear fucking god. The dates on these span across a condensed timeline. These are recent. Stan approaches from behind, joining the two of you around the map. Documenting stuff again. Yes, these posters, each of them account for recently missing sailors. Ah, that ain't good. Well, I'll have to investigate further at the market lane. Speaking of, the village has everything we need on the list. Stan nods and motions towards the other end of the station. Paid the docking fee to the guy at the marina. We're okay to keep the stand on war in the bay for the night, and I worked out a deal to refuel the generator. You know we can regenerate our own fuel, Stanley. I've told you that before. Yeah, well, I don't fully trust that doohickey you and McGucket cobbled together not to implode one day. It won't implode. Explode, maybe, but certainly not implode. Yeah. Stan plants his hands on his hips. So, how are we gonna go about this? I say we go for the list first and get a hot meal when we're done. Ford nods. That sounds good to me. He tilts his head to you. Alice? Your eyes linger on his features and you hesitate. You got to speak with him alone briefly on the deck this morning, but you wanted to get to know him a little more. We could split up. We'd cover more ground that way. Ford straightens and he glances at Stan. There's a brief moment where it seems like they're talking to each other without words again, gouging the other's feelings. Are you alright with that? Stan waves a dismissive hand. This town ain't that big. You're always going on efficiency anyway. This'll be faster, and the sooner I can stop freezing my ass off out here, the better. Ford studies his brother for a brief moment before nodding. Very well if you need anything. No need to baby me. I am the oldest. Well, not. Let me see that list. Ford playfully rolls his eyes and hands Stan the flat paper list of necessary supplies. Keep it. I know what we need. I can do the first half. You two do the second. We can keep up. We can meet up at the last stop. Ford nods. We'll see you at the pharmacy then. The three of you set off together towards the village and split up at the market. Despite the smallness of the village, the market lane bustles with locals. They smile at each other as they pass, and some talk along the scattered wooden shops that line the snowy street. I'm dying. Again. Most of them look at you and Ford, blinking at the sight of such unfamiliar faces. It unnerves you. You begin to worry that somehow they know what you really are. That you aren't just an outsider, but something different entirely. Then the villagers send warm, welcoming smiles to you, and Ford, it catches you off guard. Do your best to smile back at the local who exits the shop. You watch as he spots a young boy sitting in the snow with a book propped on his knees. You assume it's his son. Reading that book again? Come inside and help with the bag so you're gonna catch a cold. The son grumbles hold on a minute and squawks when his father takes the book and heads back inside. The boy hurries after, kicking up snow. Ford smiles and continues to walk. You do your best to keep up with his fast pace. He reminds me of my great-nephew. Great-nephew? You recalled a photo on the wall of Ford's study. At first you assumed the two were his or Stan's kids. Is that the boy in the photo? Ford glances at you, a brow raised. Photo? On the wall of your study. I wasn't looking at anything personal, it was just there and I was curious. The four of you looked really happy together. Ford smiles and his fast pace slows a fraction. Ah yes, that would be Dipper then. Does Dipper read books in the freezing cold too? He documents his findings in his own journal, no matter the weather. The journal I showed you this morning, Ford ghosts a hand along his hoodie pocket, where his journal currently sits hidden. I used to have others back at home. Dipper committed my studies to memory and even contributed his own work. He's incredibly sharp. The pride in his eyes makes you smile. Dipper reminds you of Ford. And the girl in the photo, who is she? That'd be Mabel, Dipper's twin sister. Unlike her brother, she dives headfirst into most situations, but no matter where she goes, she radiates pure love and joy. They'll be visiting again in the summer. Even though we managed to keep correspondence overseas, I know Stan misses them a lot. That'll be an awkward conversation to have. Ah, yes, I'm meeting the children! Don't question why I'm part of this group suddenly. You smile, somewhat bittersweet. It's odd witnessing the love and pride Ford has when he talks about the kids. The ocean had never shown you anything like that. You think highly of them? Ford nods as if it's the most obvious fact. I have the utmost love and respect for them. They helped me save the world. They certainly saved mine. Fond look crosses his eyes and he smiles. After a while, he motions to a nearby shop. Ready for our first item? You nod and the two of you head into the first stop of the day. Shopping with Ford is a roller coaster of emotion, but his efficient pace doesn't let you linger on the unease you feel among the people. He moves through the lanes with precision, focused on each item on the list. You're focused on keeping up with him. At one vendor, he stocks up on dry and frozen goods, stowing them away in his satchel. The items look heavy, but his shoulder doesn't struggle under any of the weight. At another vendor, he stocks up on cleaning supplies and whatever spare parts are available. Something rare to come by, he said, especially in the Arctic. With each shop, he focuses on the transaction, but he can't help but ask the vendors if they'd seen anything out of the ordinary. Most people shake their heads in response, but some of them mention they had seen some strange things. Not long after, a fisherman tells a story about his friend who claimed some of the fish he caught was strange. Wrong. Ford tries to get them to elaborate, but each of them shrug it off with a laugh, blaming such rumors on late-night drunkenness. They're just stories, they would insist. Don't take them too seriously. The last item on the list is some clothes, and the two of you walk into a boutique. A bell chimes overhead, and the cashier welcomes the two of them with a bright smile. The place is small, stuffed full of fabrics, fur, and accessories. Ford tells you to choose whatever you'd like as you browse rows of the handmade material. Motherfucker, I said I was fine with what I got. I want the baggie. In the warm. Before you take your items to the counter, you pause by a table with accessories. You lift up some gloves, the fabric of one of your favorite shades. Oh, those are a nice pair. His voice is warmed by your ear. You look over your shoulder, face heating with how close he is. Ford's shoulder brushes against yours as he leans over. He lifts another pair of gloves, feeling the fabric. Though I've always had trouble finding some that fit. Right, he has 6 fingers. You glance down at his hands, watching his gloved thumb run idly over the fabric in his grip. Where did you get the ones you're wearing now? His eyes light up as he smiles. Mabel made them for me as a parting gift. You smile, noting the pride in his eyes. That's sweet of her. She's quite the craftsperson. He splays his palm, revealing some off-color stitching at his thumb and fingertips. And due to the lack of suitable gloves, Stan repairs them for me when they fray. He nods to the gloves in your hand. Feel free to get them. It's best to stay as warm as possible. You look back down at the gloves, tempting to accept his offer. As unfamiliar you are with human currency, you still have the feeling that your new outfit alone is already a lot. You shake your head and set them back down with a stop. Maybe another time. Thank you, though. Ford's brows raise. Why the hell did I just say like that? He opens his mouth to ask if you're sure, but you're already heading to the counter. Well, the cashier wraps up. Yes. Ford takes the opportunity to ask her if she'd seen anything strange lately. You figure she'll shrug, laugh, or say something similar to the other rumors you've heard so far. Instead, she hums and furrows her brows, contemplating. Come to think of it, I have heard of a few things from visiting sailors over the past few weeks. Ford's eyes light up and he leans forward a fraction, silently urging her to continue. The gesture makes you smile. It's charming. I mean, we get silly rumors all the time, but lately it's all I hear from visitors. Something wrong with the fish. My fanfiction senses are tingling. Some say it's like an oil spell. Others say the fish are deformed or glowing. Her words make unease settle in your chest. You're reminded of changing rooms in the back if you'd like to wear these now. The cashier slides the clothes forward. Ah, thank you. You smile and take them to the back, changing into them. When you Anyway. When you're done, you head back out. Ford straightens at the sight of you. Hey, you look good. Ford clears his throat and he offers a hand for your old clothes when he quickly stows away in his bag. Can't help but smile. Thank you. Together you send your thanks to the cashier and bid her farewell, exiting the boutique. As the two of you walk towards the pharmacy, Ford has his journal open in one hand, pencil tapping on the pages. He's so focused that you wouldn't be surprised if he ran into a building without realizing. Ford. There's a pause before he blinks from his revere, eyes finding yours. Yes? I'm fucking yawning! I'm curious, why did you ask everyone if they'd seen everything out of the ordinary? Ford's eyes light up. Glad you asked. Can you stop fucking nerd emojing me? Can you stop it? And you see, anomalies don't just reside in the sea, although most of my findings, such as yourself, have come from there. You want to emphasize the lie that you are human, but he continues. Even the slightest rumors can indicate the presence of weirdness. Anta just appears out of nowhere to go, actually. But it seems this place, as far as the villagers are away, doesn't have anything unusual. It's the sailors who visit that spur the rumors. What if they were just drunk like the people said? It never hurts to investigate. Fucking nerd emoji. Stop it! Stop! Since humans have begun traveling overseas, there's never been a lack of stories about unusual encounters. But for this village to hear an influx of similar rumors, it's reasonable grounds for an anomaly. What kind exactly is what we'll find out. His eyes shine brighter as he scribbles notes into his journal. So I didn't think we'd find a new lead so soon. Meeting you has already been so incredibly insightful. Regards to Craig. He looks up from his journal, grinning, and he pauses when he looks at you. Ah. Not that I view you solely as a lead, of course. It's alright, I get what you mean. To be honest, I think it's charming to see you so excited. It's nice to have that kind of passion for something. Oh! Ford's face and ears redden, and he hides his face in his journal. I can already picture that in my head. I can already picture him hiding his face in his journal, and it's adorable. Shut up! Thank you. Look at Stanley. Oh, look at that. He's embarrassed. I'm the baby! I'm the baby in his 60s, but he's still a baby! Stan waits by the pharmacy entrance, holding a few bags at his side, lighting up at the sight of you two. Ford smiles with relief. Hey! I got us an extra treat from the Trip Baker special. If you see a couple bites there... no you don't. Everything went alright with you two? You and Ford nod. He insisted on carrying everything, though. I feel a little bad. That satchel's a lifesaver, trust me, Alice. Ford doesn't feel a thing with that. You raise a brow at Ford and he chuckles under your questioning stare. Should we head inside? He holds open the pharmacy. Not the fuck. He holds open the. Yeah, he just holds open the entire fucking building. The door, and the three of you enter the pharmacy. That is. That is a lot. That is a lot of notes. We got ask for assistance. Ask for assistance. This random note that says op ew, go fuck yourself. No refund, no cards, cash only. Jesus fucking Christ. You break it, if we break it, you buy it, and there's this box down here that says, do not put your ass on the box. Please, for the love of God, I've already said this like 3 times. Do not sit on the box. Your booty cheeks are too powerful. The sickly fluorescent lighting fills the space around you, making it feel dingy and cramped between the narrow aisles of medical supplies. Additionally, the cool toned color of the walls up a little helped make the place feel inviting. It is a sharp contrast from the warm individuality of the other shops and their specialties. Just as you are coming to terms with the unwelcoming ambience, your attention is pulled away to the counter by the sound of arguing. This man just looks like he's done with life. Look at him. Look at this man. He looks so done with life. He wants to die himself. Look at this man. Look at him. This man just wants to die. Nothing else. Possibly nothing else. I don't know. $40 for a roll of gauze, even out here in the Arctic, that's highway robbery. Jesus fucking Christ, the inflation is real. Even in visual novels, the inflation is real. The inflation is tough, y'all. I don't know what to say. You see Ford holding the aforementioned gauze in his hand as he accuses the clerk of price gouging. This man looks so fucking done with his life. Look at him. He's just standing here. He's like, I don't want to fucking do this no more, man. I don't want to do this no more. The clerk, Joe, according to the store's namesake of Joe's Pharmacy, is wholly unfazed at the accusation. He's got a fucking pill. Oh god, he's got skin. He's so brown. he's just nothing but brown. Holy shit. How do I make a voice that just sounds so done with life? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid that's the price around here. You need to realize how difficult it is for me to restock, the costs involved in the entire process. Yeah, that makes sense. Motherfucker, he's in the Arctic, first of all. There's no other pharmacy around for miles, so there's a higher supply and demand. I'm sure you understand. Motherfucker, they're in the Arctic. Despite his words, Joe did not seem apologetic about the exorbitant prices in the least. He looks done with life. He looks so done with life. Look at him. No, I don't. You wouldn't believe the remoteness of some of the places I've lived in my life. I can believe it. He was in other dimensions. I can believe it. Why, even on the most farthest backwater planet imaginable, they still didn't resort to this kind of exploitation of cost. You're just charging more than you need. Well, did you just say planet? With an exceedingly practiced salesman smile, yeah, that sounds like Stan. Stan decides then to step between the clerk and his brother before Ford can say any more. You'll have to excuse my brother. He's always had delusions of grandeur, even when we were kids. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Stanley, you can't possibly agree with this. Stan lightly elbows his twin, interrupting his tirade, then glances over at you with the same smile. This time, however, it is joined by a devious glint in his eyes. Alice, why don't you and Paul go ahead and look for the rest of the stuff on our list while I talk with Joe here? Can I call you Joe? Joe looks warily between you, Stan, and Ford, who has curiously been quieter than you'd expected. He didn't seem the type to be so easily pacified. I guess, but they better not break anything. Of course not, Joe. Go on. Stan moves so that the bulk of his body is blocking both you and Ford from the sight while he keeps the conversation going. Now, let's see if we can work something out. Salesman to salesman. In a moment, Ford is ushering you towards the back of the store, just as Stan suggested. Do you think Stan can get him to back down? When you turn to Ford, you find him rummaging through his pockets looking for something. Oh, I don't think it matters any. Can you fuck off, Fly? What do you mean? Well, we tried to be civil, but it seems this Joe fellow won't budge on the matter. I've seen his type before, and even with Stan's skills, it's unlikely he'll change his mind or his ways. There is a bump in my mouth. Well, specifically on my lips, but I got it sorted. Then how will we get what we need? By taking it. There it is. With a declaration, Ford triumphantly pulls out what looks to be a rather innocuous-looking satchel. You're suggesting we steal? I'm not suggesting it. Stan suggested it by playing the role of a distraction. I'm simply following through. Ford pauses as if only just realizing that you may not be on board with the idea of petty theft. You don't have to help. It concerns you, but we need those supplies and We simply don't have enough to pay what he's asking. I'm gonna help because fuck inflation and fuck the current economy. No, I'll help. You're right. That guy is asking way too much for basic necessities. Besides, some of this stuff is for me, so it's only fair. It's not as if it's your first time stealing, but you decide not to share that just yet. In that case, I'm grateful to have you as my partner in crime, as it were. Now, here, take this. It'll be easier if we use it than trying to smuggle things into our sleeves. Ford hands the satchel as he retrieved from his pockets over to you. You notice just how small and light it is. It rattles around when you shift it. If you had to guess the contents from the sound, you'd likely assume that it's full of bones. Or maybe it's just dice. You know, I couldn't believe it when I managed to get one of these, actually. I used to have 3 until... well, let's just say now I only have 1. Oh, he took the drawstrings apart to open it, expecting a shallow container for a few supplies. However, when you peer inside, the bag seems impossibly deep. You can't even see the bomb, even among your own people. You've never seen technology like this. You can't help the awe in your voice. So this is what you used earlier when we were shopping. Ford can't resist the sense of pride that falls across his expression. Good eye. But not quite. This is a much smaller bag called a satchel of carrying, compact and perfect for our needs. I carry it separately from the sack of containing that's over at the front. There is a difference? You glance over its stand near the front. At his feet by the counter stands many bulging packages over from different stores. Sat beside them was Ford's singular bag. Joe had insisted on leaving their bags at the door to deter the exact act you now found yourselves participating in. Curiously, they tend to react badly when placed inside one another, so it's best not to risk it. He looks as though he's talking from experience. Maybe that's why he's only got 1 left. You reason that must be why he said he used to have 3. So how does it work? The bag, I mean. How can it be bigger inside than out? Form beams at you before proffering... What? Proffering an explanation. Fancy words over here. Holy shit. As he begins... I can't stop yawning. As he begins carefully selecting items from the shelves. I've yet to work that out myself. Isn't it fascinating? Just another item I've acquired over years of travel, and one that has always come in handy in times like this. Because I keep stealing shit and it doesn't fucking end. You found this while traveling with your brother? Ford pauses and lingers over an item on the shelf. No, it was before then. You don't know this man very well, but you could swear you spot a flash of regret accompanying those words. You want to press further to find out more about the man's increasingly interesting life, but you realize now is perhaps not the best time because we're fucking stealing some shit right now. Ford's hands are quick as you move beside him, perusing products whose uses you can only guess. What the fuck? It's captivating in its own way to see the types of supplies humans use for their health. Ford interrupts that line of thinking by tugging on the edge of the bag with a finger. The rest of his hand is curled around a bottle of ointment. He shifts his hand so that the tube is perfectly concealed. You don't even know when you grabbed it. Here, hold it open and try to keep it out of the sight. I don't need to be placed on yet another village's wanted list. Jesus fucking Christ. How many villages? You think he's joking, but his exasperated tone suggests otherwise. Have you done this before? It's just, you seem experienced. Ford seems surprised by the question, as if he'd never been asked that. Oh, larceny is hardly a new surprise for me and Stanley both. When you've lived the kind of life I have lived, it would likely be shorter to list the things I haven't done. Yes, I have. He pauses for a moment, and you can't tell if he's pondering what to say or what to steal. What about you? You had no qualms about helping us pilfer products. Not that I'm the one to judge. Oh yeah, why not? You find you have no reason to lie about it. Ford trusted you enough to tell you of his experience, so you get the feeling he wouldn't judge you for it. I've done something similar before. More than once, actually. Though each time it's been purely out of necessity. Not I'm against it morally or anything. I just don't know what I would do with too many possessions. I don't own anything I can't carry. Don't you have a place to store belongings? A home? You shake your head. Not for a long time now. I've had to keep on the move due to... well, I've just had to. You don't dare elaborate further, but it seems you don't need to. To your surprise, Ford looks at you of understanding. Oh! The baby! I suppose I can relate. I've been in the same boat myself once. And so has Stan. Like you, he doesn't explain further, but he also doesn't pry for more. Instead, he smiles, reassuring, though a twinge of sorrow remains behind. It's as bittersweet as it is comforting. How serendipitous it is, then, what we can now both call the same boat, our home, in the literal sense. At least until you recover, of course. Oh, you hadn't considered that before. You realize he's right. The Standard Water is the first place you could consider a home of any kind in a long time. It's a nice feeling. With that shared sentiments leaving a warmth blossoming in your chest, Ford turns his attention back to the task at hand. You expect, or maybe hope he'll say more once you've gotten to know him better. Perhaps he hopes the same of you. You hadn't expected him to respect your privacy like that. Seems this man has more layers to him than you thought. Ford stops walking and you nearly bump into him when he does. Why did you? You look over Ford's shoulder to see what stops him. Immediately you understand. Well that might be a problem. Before you is a glass case, a padlock and chains sealing essential first aid supplies behind it, rubbing alcohol along with various other products you don't recognize. The real issue is, however, is the old woman at the end of the aisle, another customer. Even if you could get into the glass case, she would surely spot you. We're just stealing in front of an old lady. Ford digs around in his pockets briefly, then lowers his voice as he takes out two thin pieces of metal. The lock itself shouldn't be too much trouble with these. Over the years, I've gotten to be almost as good as Stanley at picking locks. You never know when you need to uncuff yourself. Or your brother. Hello? Fuck your brother do plenty of times. One second. I'm gonna need like a really big drink after this. And quite a few sandwiches. Because I have been talking for over 2 hours now. Like, non-stop talking. No, the real trouble is our fellow customer. If they see us, I fear our efforts will all have been in vain. He pauses deep in thought as he examines the room. We could... No, it'd be far too risky. Too close quarters. I suppose we could wait for them to move. Can only imagine what kind of plan he has in mind. Whatever it is, you can already tell you will have to think of something else. You recall the tactic Stanley had pulled up at the register. I can keep it busy while you handle the lock. Ford's eyebrows raised, both surprised and impressed. Are you certain? I know you agreed to this plan, but I said I would help, right? Trust me to do this. The mention of trust seemed to weigh heavy for the both of you. But wasn't trust exactly what you were trying to earn? Eventually, Ford nods, seeming to have decided something after a moment of consideration. Okay, then I'll try to be quick. Good luck. You smile at him, reciprocating the sentiment. You too. You move out the aisle and approach the customer with caution. The woman before you is short and elderly, though she looks more kindly than most humans you've encountered in your lifetime. Oh, she looks so sweet. Look at her. She looks so sweet. She's so pretty. Look at her hat. It's so cute. Seems to be struggling with an item on a shelf. A good day, ma'am. Oh, well, aren't you a unfamiliar face? Did Joe finally get replaced with someone nicer? Damn, this lady's got sass. I love her. I love her. I love this woman. I love this woman so much. She's got sass. Her words are teasing and unserious. She cannot help but be wary at this new stranger. Oh, no, my friends and I are just passing through town. The woman peers curiously over your shoulder, searching for the friend you mentioned. In a panic, you move your arms to block the view. You hastily attempt to disguise the gesture as an offer for help. You grab an item off the shelf and hope it was the one she's struggling with earlier. Did you need help reaching this? I saw you were having trouble. That's why I came over, because you were having trouble. Very smooth. Oh, my fiber powder. How thoughtful of you. Thank you, dear. She takes the supplement from you and places it into a shopping basket she had draped over her arm. You know, this old body is not nearly as flexible as it once was. She then looks angrily over at the counter. And Joe knows it. I swear he does it on purpose. Gets a kick out of watching an old woman struggle, he does. I sure hope you and those friends of yours knock him down a peg or two with what you're doing. Well, I think she knows what we're up to, but like, I like this lady. She's got sass. I like her. She doesn't like Joe either. My man. Handshake. You feel a cold sweat creep down your neck. Had the three of you been caught? I am not sure what you mean. Oh, my body may not be sprightly, but my mind is as sharp as ever, and I'm not blind yet. I know what you're up to. You feel panic seep into your skin and scan for an exit. You can't be the reason the brothers get caught in the act. Then with a wink, the woman leans in, what the fuck? But don't worry, old Hattie's no tattletale. I love this woman. I love her. I love her so much. The growing dread in you had felt slowly calms at these words. In her eyes, you can see the same mischievous look that Stan had gotten earlier. You believe she won't turn you in, but just in case, you ought to try and change the subject. Is Hattie your name? Oh, seems you're sharp too. It's what my friends call me. You can call me Hattie too, since we're friends now, aren't we? This woman you had just met was making quite a lot of assumptions. Oh, I should say so. After all, you helped me, and now I'll help you. She gestures over to the register where Joe looks none too happy and Stan seems to be in a bit of a panic. Well, by the looks of it, I'd say you're going to need it. From what you can see, Stan is stuck behind the counter with Joe, having been caught in the act despite his best efforts. The stolen item tumbles out of his sleeve and onto the counter as he holds his hands up in surrender. An ironic twist, you find that is, but very scores that had been the catalyst of stealing in the first place. This fucker tried. This fucker tried. This fucker tried. He tried. Give him that. He tried at least, right? Yeah. Yeah, he tried at least. So I'm gonna need you to empty your pockets. Oh, whoa, how did that get in there? Meant to put that on the counter. You accidentally put an item you planned to buy in your pocket. It happens more than you think. Listen, my memory is really fucking dumb, and I can be really fucking dumb sometimes, but I'm not that dumb where I accidentally do that. Having heard the commotion, Paul quickly arrives at your side near the front of the store. I thought I heard arguing. Are you and Stanley alright? It's just Stanley opposite. It's just it's just Stanley flipped. Oh, Stanley, is it? You told me your name was Yelnats. It's just flipped. It's just his name but flipped. He's never been good at this. He's never been good at names. Obviously. Fucking Yelnats. That sounds like an insect name. So I suffer from a little memory loss. You know how it is with us old guys. Joe does not budge, effectively stopping Stan from moving out from behind the counter. He quite literally has Stanley cornered. I'm going to ask you again to turn out your pockets, sir, you and your accomplices. You spot Ford moving a hand to holster at his waist. He looks more agitated than distressed. The more distressed his brother sounds. This is looking bad. You scramble to think of anything you could do that would stop the situation from escalating. Blech. It is then that Hattie, who had been watching the scene unfold alongside you, takes it upon herself to step up to the counter. She appears to be wholly unbothered by the altercation before, as if you were all little more than a group of rambunctious children in her eyes. Calmly, she places the items from her basket onto the counter. The interruption leaves both you and the others in the room stunned. She's like, "Hi, bitches. I need my shit ordered real quick, and I don't give a fuck what y'all are talking about right now. I'd like to check out now, Joe." There is a pause as Joe seemingly stumbles over his words, disarmed by Hattie's demeanor. "I'm a little busy right now, ma'am." "And I'm not. You're wasting what precious little time I have left on this earth by making me wait while you argue with these nice young people." Young? Take it with pride, Stan. Take it with pride. She just called you young. Hattie points at the gauze that Stan had dropped. "He heard you returned the item, you see. So what's the issue?" "Well, he could have taken something else. And I could be home already if it weren't having this conversation." The brothers regard him seriously now, ready to react as necessary if something were to escalate. Joe's previous hostility falters at that. You can tell he's losing the cool, unfazed attitude he'd had earlier. It's clear that he cares about maintaining appearances within the community, and harassing tourists is not exactly a good look for his business. Joe looks to be weighing his options. Eventually, he sighs in defeat. "Fine, but I want them out of my store. I don't have a problem with strangers, but I won't sell to thieves." Stan takes that as clearance to leave, carefully scooting around Joe and out from behind the counter. Joe does not stop him. Yeah, well, we didn't want to buy any of your stupid expensive garbage anyway. Ford lowers his hand from his belt, no longer on edge now that Joe had been calmed by Hattie's chiding. Perhaps it may be best not to provoke him further. I think we ought to leave while we can. For a brief moment, the twin brothers exchange a look as if checking in with one another that they both gotten what they needed before they'd been caught. While the brothers quickly gather their things, you quietly thank Hattie as you pass her by on your way out of the store. Hattie's amazing. I love Hattie already. Please don't make her die or something. Please. I don't even care if she's bad in the end or anything. I just fucking queen. As you exit the building, Ford's eyes shift over passing locals, covering for Stan as he empties stolen goods into a small bag Ford has opened in his hands. They move down along the street with practiced ease, like they've done this all before many times over. Before you, the snow is brighter than ever after the stifling, sterile feel of the pharmacy. You feel as though you can breathe easily for the first time in hours, though you hadn't been in the store all that long. After turning a few corners and gaining more distance, Stan sighs and turns around, hands on his hips. Alright, that's everything. You can loosen up now, Ford. His twin spares another glance over his shoulder and clears his throat, smoothing out the fabric of his bag before pocketing it. That was a close call. The nerve of that guy. What was he gonna do anyway? Call the cops? If I know anything about living in the middle of nowhere, it's that authorities aren't exactly reliable. Yep, with the cops and Gravity Falls, they're crap. Not that they're reliable anywhere, but still. You hastily look around for anyone nearby who might be eavesdropping. Maybe we should keep our voices down. Ford nods. Hand steady on the strap of his bag, he looks towards the ocean. I concur, it would be best if we get moving. No need to linger until he changes his mind. Oh, you both worry too much. Can you really see that guy getting all bundled up to come out here and chase us? Excuse me, you three. A wave of panic crosses the twins' faces. Get what I said, scatter! Comedic timing. An old woman's laughter interrupts the three of you before you even start running. You spot Hattie marching through the snow, hat bobbing with her movements as she hurries towards you. You and Ford both breathe a sigh of relief as a grinning Stanley sprays opens his arms in dramatic fashion. Oh, it's you, our savior! It's you, our savior! Let's go! You're pretty sure know how to move when you need to. She holds a bag out in front of her, offering it to you. You forgot your role, of course. Both twins looked dumbfounded at Hattie's offer. It was like they'd never gotten a gift before, or at least not in a long time. You didn't have to do that. Stan nudges him and Ford lets him a look before clearing his throat. What I mean is that we appreciate what you did for us. You could have turned the other way, and yet you put yourself in harm's way to help us. Hattie laughs at their antics. That sound makes you wonder if she also has siblings. Oh, that Joe is all talk. If he really put up some kind of fight, I hardly think he could have stopped a strapping man like yourself. She's a queen! I love Hattie! She's a queen! She's a queen! She's a queen! I love Hattie! I love Hattie so much. She's such a queen. I know I said that like 20 times, but my point still stands. Stanley puffs out his chest, clearly pleased by the easy praise. Ah, flattery will get you everywhere, lady. Call me Hattie. Nice to meet you, Hattie. Well, I'm Stan and this is Alice. And that there is my twin brother, Ford. You didn't really pay $40 for some bandaging, did you? Even as unfamiliar with human currency as you are, even you could tell it was a ridiculous price based on the brother's reactions. Hattie seems surprised by the price. What the heavens, no, is that what he was asking you? So it really had been extortion. If you had any remaining qualms about your earlier actions, they are completely gone now. No wonder you stole from him. Serves him right. Ford clears his throat awkwardly while Stan shifts uncomfortably beside him. Ma'am, I can assure you we did nothing of the sort. Hattie pokes at each of their chests in turn with her cane. Clearly disappointed. Oh, she's got siblings. Don't you boys lie to me. I know exactly what you were doing in there. Oh, this woman's a mother. This woman's a mother. She's been a mother. Or still is a mother. I don't know. Remembering that you'd reacted the same way, you stifle your own laugh at the shared sheepish expressions that had crossed both brothers' faces. In that moment, they look for all the world like kids that had been caught doing something bad. Maybe she isn't too far from calling them boys. Then that glint from earlier returns to Hattie's eyes, and she leans in conspiratorially, leaning heavily on her cane. But not to worry. As I told your friend here, old Hattie's no snitch. It's clear the two of them weren't expecting this reaction. The brothers regard her, astonished, as she continues to explain. In fact, I think it's about time Karma caught up to that boy. He's been a pain point in this community for years, jacking the prices up for everyone here. As much as he tried to charge you, mind you, but things are already hard to come by when you live all the way out here. She shakes her head, throwing her hands about. He's just a selfish, rotten man. It's not even about the money for him. He just wants everyone else to hate the world as much as he does. Perhaps she adjusts her hat back into place, which had dislodged itself in her excitement. But never mind that mean old Joe. What would you three say joining me for lunch, my treat? I've got some lovely soup that's been simmering all morning at home, and I've just picked up a nice loaf of bread at the bakery. Oh, this woman's so sweet. Can we go with her, please? She's so fucking sweet. She's a queen. Free food. I like free food. I like soup. I'd love to have someone to share it with for a change, and if my memory hasn't failed me, I believe I may have gotten a new tea sample. Please, 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 please. I want to go with her. I want to go. I want to go. Please, 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 I want to go. I want to go. I love Hattie. Hattie begins rifling through her bags, giving the brothers a moment to process the kind offer. It was clear they weren't used to that kind of thing. I mean, if you're offering, unlike his brother, Ford clearly is not as trusting. What's the catch? Ford clearly looks uncomfortable at the idea of following a stranger. Fortunately, Stan is anything but deterred. Oh, come on, Sixer, don't be rude. Lady's offering us a hot meal for free. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For free. Free, 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 free food. What's not to hate? Wait, is that the saying? What's not to love? Not to hate? I'm confused. Whatever that saying is, you know what I mean. When Ford doesn't budge, Stan sighs before continuing in a hushed tone. Look, she probably just wants some company. You and I both know it can get pretty lonely living in a small town. Oh, the tins. Bing bong! The twins exchange another look you can't decipher, though you can tell there must be a deeper implications behind Stan's words. Can't help but wonder what kind of liars they've led to end up stealing and distrusting others. Not that you couldn't empathize. Ah, there it is. Beside them, Hattie triumphantly retrieves a satchel of tea from her bags. It appears she did not hear the brothers' discussion. Oh, did you say something, dears? I'm afraid my hearing's not what it used to be. Oh, we were just wondering where this place of yours is. Why don't you lead the way, huh? Not like this place is getting any warmer. You allow Stan and Hattie to walk a little farther ahead so that you can have a word with Ford, who is not looking nearly as excited about this turn of events as his brother. You smile sympathetically at him. She did help us. The least we can do is eat a meal with her. Ford sighs. You're right, it's just I'm not very good for people, especially strangers. Give me a handshake, man. I'm autistic as well. Dap me up. Dap me up. I'm autistic too. Stanley's always had a penchant for people. I envy it sometimes. Interacting with humans hasn't been the easiest for you either. Despite the dangers of the sea, the constant running, at least that's become familiar. Interacting with so many humans, getting close to Stan and Ford, you aren't sure what to think. That was risky, what we did back there. Yes, but it turned out right in the end. We make a pretty good team. Ford smiles at you and ting tang walla walla bing bang. I don't know. Ford smiles at you and you return the gesture. His expression falters for a moment though. Oh, to be fully transparent. Alice, this isn't a common occurrence for us. We don't take pride in resourcing for this behavior. We only do it when it proves necessary. You're reminded of your time at the sea. Sometimes you need to do things that aren't the best to survive. I understand. Your stomach gives a faint twist at the admission, but you ignore it. You focus instead on the gleam of Ford's eyes, the way his brows raise in a fraction. Yes, precisely. His eyes shine brighter. Where did I find brighter? Shine bright like a diamond. Ooh, shine bright like a diamond. Hama, hey me mama, hama mama, hama, hama mama, hama mama, me mama, hama, me mama, hama mama, me mama, hama mama, me mama, mama, me mama, mama, me mama. I forgot the lyrics, as you could tell. Mama, Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, that's gone on long enough. His eyes shine again, brimming with curiosity, the way they did over his journal this morning. Now that you're out of the pharmacy's suffocating walls, you can feel the strength of his curiosity returning. Before he opens his mouth to ask what you, no doubt, know to be a barrage of questions regarding the context behind your response, you nod towards Stan and Hattie up ahead. Stan was pretty eager to steal for us, though, wasn't he? Ford opens his mouth, closes it, and smiles. He chuckles under his breath. Perhaps I should revise my statement. I take no pride in stealing. Ford's eyes are filled with amused adoration as he watches Stan speak with Hattie up ahead. You should have seen him during our first year at sea. I had to pry him away from everything of his interest. Stop with the fucking nerd emoji. Shine bright like a diamond. He lifts a finger, brows raising. Even now, don't let him within seeing range of a treasure chest. He'll most definitely try to take it. Even if it's empty? My brother knows no limits. The two of you share a laugh. The rest of the walk is peaceful despite the cold. Eventually, Hattie's cabin appears, a splash of warmth and honey along with the snowy hills. Smoke puffs from the chimney, curling around the scattered evergreens. Stan whistles, giving a dramatic nod as the three of you approach her home. Nice place, Hattie. Just wait until you see the inside, dear. Oh, Lord have mercy! This is beautiful. This is magnificent. What the fuck is a multi-bear wooden statue doing there? There is a multi-bear statue. Hello, little multi-bear. Warmth blankets you in a welcoming embrace, a stark contrast to the roaring cold outside. When Joe's pharmacy was sterile and devoid of any comfort, every nook and cranny in Hattie's cabin hums with life. Anytime I think of cabin, this is basically the shit I think of. Blankets, books, and homemade crafts fill the place, bathed in the warm glow of the crackling fireplace. It makes you feel at home. You exhale, finding it easier to relax. The ease that this place gives you, a human's place, is, well, it's a nice change. Like Ford's study, you're tempted to explore, but Hattie's voice brings back your attention. Shoes off, please. Coat on the rack. Stan mumbles his praise for Hattie's interior design while Ford lingers stiffly at the door, his hands behind his back as he examines their surroundings. In a way you can relate. It's hard to let your guard down in someone else's place. Oh my god, she's giving me unlimited blankets. This is the best day ever. Make yourself at home. You can use as many blankets as you want by the fireplace. Stan follows Hattie into the kitchen, their voices quieting the farther they go. So, where's this famous soup of yours, Hats? Don't you look too close now. I don't want you figuring out the secret ingredient. Never what? That was adorable. You linger at the doorway with Ford, watching him smile faintly and shake his head. He keeps his hands behind his back as he goes to explore the bookshelves, his movements restrained. You're about to tag along when your attention focuses on the dining table. Wooden figures sit beside written letters, detailed simple yet skilled. One of them is a bearded human with a pointy hat. The other is still earthed in its wooden block, nestled in a wood shavings. The knives beside it are dusty but sharp. Ford joins your side, peering over your shoulder at the wooden figure as you lift it. Ah, a gnome. You turn to him, finding him narrowing his eyes at the figure. You smile, raising a brow at his tone. You don't seem too happy about that. Have you ever met a gnome? No. Trust me, you would prefer to keep it that way. It can be quite unsettling. Yes, very unsettling. They tried to marry a 10-year-old. No, wait, 12-year-old. They tried to marry a 12-year-old. He mumbles something about stackable snack thieves as you set the figure back down, but you might be hearing him wrong. Oh, no, you're hearing him correctly. Instead of elaborating, he nods towards you, his expression twisting a fraction. How is your shoulder? Has it been aggravated at all? From the dozens of news sites at the markets and chaos at Joe's pharmacy, you'd almost forgotten about your injury. It throbs just thinking about it, the deep wound. It still hurts, but it's better. Ford nods stiffly. It's in the need of redressing. I suggest doing them now, while we have the moment of rest, but Stanley might chide me for not adhering to the unspoken rules of hospitality. Not in multiverse, those kinds of things aren't at the forefront. I digress. Human hospitality is quite foreign to you as well, having lived in the seal your life. You don't mention that. Instead you smile at him, raising a brow. Has he chided you before? Perhaps more than I'd like to admit. People don't always appreciate when you bleed over their things without asking first. You recall his mention of other planets in the pharmacy, and now something about universes. Are you from here? You can't help but ask. Despite your far and few experience of humans, the twin brothers are unlike anything you've experienced. The layers of this man grow increasingly interesting. Ford's brows raise. Oh, well, yes! I've always struggled to understand certain social scripts, to put it bluntly. I'm sure you relate, being an anomaly yourself. I am a human, but yes, I do. The light flies right over his head. He goes back to perusing the bookshelves, and you follow, taking in the rest of Hattie's cabin. We'll have time to redress your wound when we return to the ship. And, if you don't mind, I'd love to ask you some more questions as well. He glances at you with a faint smile, and you return the gesture. Hell yeah, brother! Hell yeah! I just lifted my arms up in celebration. I can't even do it on the VTuber. Fuck! For now, though. He turns his head towards the kitchen, where Hattie and Stan are chatting away, Stan holding out one bowl at a time for Hattie to fill with soup. He sets everything on a tray. Soup, bread, and tea. Hell yes! That's a great combination. I don't even drink tea, but I'd be happy either way. Then follows Hattie into the living room. She hurries forward to tidy the table, collecting letters and brushing away the wood shavings from its surface. Stan follows from behind, carrying the tray of food. Forgive the mess. I was writing to my grandson. Grandson, huh? Yes, my boy, Hoddy. Pride fills her voice, a tone that reminds you of Ford when he spoke about his great-niece and nephew. Stan sets the food down on the table, approaching the couches with a noise of interest. He lifts one of the knit blankets draped over them, turning it this way and that. Did you make these? Oh yes, Hoddy and I used to make those together before he moved out. We used to make almost everything together. That close to his grandma, and he didn't even take you with him? What's up with that? She shakes her head and smiles, knocking his leg lightly with her cane. Oh, I'm much too old to go traveling now. And besides, I like it here, aside from that mean old Joe. They share a laugh, and even Ford huffs with amusement. Thank you again for your help. It means more than you know. Yes, thank you. Stan grunts in agreement, running his fingers over the intricate patterns of the blanket. You should sell these and make people pay for classes. No. Make people pay just to look at them. This is some top-notch stuff. Top-notch. I know English, I swear. That's what my hats are for. She motions towards one of the cabin walls, which display only a few of her designs. Stan whistles again, setting the blanket down to admire them. Is that why they call you Hattie? Huh? Because of the hats. Oh, I never thought about that. Oh god, she didn't even think of that? That's adorable. They laugh again and you head to the table, lingering near Ford. He was right. Stan does have a penchant for people. You can't help but smile watching him chat with Hattie, and Stan's trying on one of her hats, striking a pose. What do you think? I'm gorgeous, right? Yeah, I know. I'll hold the applause. He looks... Well, it's a look. He still has on his red beanie, the wide-brimmed hat angled on his head. Hattie giggles, swatting at him. Well, it doesn't look right with your scully still on. I don't know, hats. I might have just started a new trend. You should thank me for the cash you're about to bring in. Yes. Why am I snorting like a pig? Yes. Fucking villager over here. You notice movement from Ford and find him scribbling in his journal, trying to restrain a smile. You lean in to take a peek. Ford noticed your I can't read. Ford notes your stare, smiles, and angles it towards you. That's the beginning of a sketch. Stan displaying out his arms with his hat over his head. Maybe we'll get a kick out of this. His smile is unbridled now, his eyes gleaming. Hey, what are you two whispering out about over there? Huh? What you doing? Huh? 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 Ford closes his journal and stows it away, raising his brows. He folds his hands behind his back innocently. Nothing. Nothing. No, nothing. No. Stan hums with suspicion. Penis. Following Hattie as she joins the rest of you. When she sits down at the head of the table, the rest of you follow suit. The twins beside each other and you next to Hattie. Alice will tell me, right? No, I'm playing along. You make a noise shrugging. Maybe, maybe not. Stan narrows his eyes at you, pouting. He turns to Ford, finding his gaze innocuously elsewhere. You were drawing me, weren't you? I better look flattering, Ford. I have no idea what you mean. Actually, let me see that. Gotta make sure you captured my image right. Stan makes a grabbing motion with his hand leading forward. Ford leans away, smirking. What image? You little... Hattie shares a smile with you and shakes her head. She raises her hand and clears her throat, pausing the twins' banter. All right, a moment of thanks first, dear. I'm sorry, I'm not Christian. I'm confused. Hattie folds her hands in her lap and you follow suit as the twins straighten. She expresses her gratitude for the food and for the company. I don't understand what the fuck I'm listening to right now. What? Am I just like dumb or is it just because I'm like atheist or something? I don't know. When she's done, the four of you fall back into conversation, exchanging stories in between Stan's praise for Hattie's cooking. Hattie is all warmth and kindness all the while, lighting up whenever she speaks of her life in the village or of her grandson, listening eagerly when the three of you share something in turn. By the time the soup is gone, Hattie really does feel like a friend, and if you were to ever live here, the go-to person to know what was really going on in the town. Suddenly, when she decides to show off some of her grandson's artwork, does something in the air shift. Wood carving is his passion. Once I showed him the basics, he got the knack of it for right away. He's gotten so skilled. She hands you a wooden figure of a small four-legged creature, its mane swept about the long horn on its forehead. Unicorn! Ford eyes it like he did with the figure of the gnome, muttering something about imposters and their raid music. You think you must have misheard, but Stan snorts at Ford's comment, nudging him while mentioning Mabel. You reason it's a joke you're not in on. Twins seem to have a lot of those. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with them, or maybe it's a human thing you'll never grasp. The ceiling in your chest, it reminds you of how your home treated you when... You shake your head to clear the thought. You decide to clean up while they chat, bringing your dishes into the kitchen despite Hattie's protests. Just as you begin to rinse them, Hattie joins your side with her hands on her hips. You're my guest, Alice. I'm supposed to do that. She takes one of the bowls and rinses it next to you. It's nothing really, it's the least I can do. Outside the kitchen window, the cold blows on, swaying the tall trees. There's another carved figure on the sill, a raven. Its wings are splayed open, the wood singed black. When you and Hattie finish cleaning up, you lift the figure, admiring the varied depth of each carving and detail. Despite the weight of the dark wood, the feathers look soft. He takes after you, your grandson. The level of attention in the figure reflects the detail in her knitted blankets. Hattie smiles, her expression softening. That's what he went off to do, travel the world as an artist. Did you know he used to send me one nearly every week? Wow. You can't imagine how long it'd take to make something as detailed as this. You set it back down, noting the other figures in the kitchen as the two of you head back into the living room. I know someone who also does woodwork. My grandma lives with him. I display them whenever I can. Makes it feel like he's still here in a way, you know? Now, if he'd only write to his grandma more often. She shakes her head, planting her hands on her hips. Stan leans back in his chair to look at you and Hattie, raising a brow with a frown. The amount of mistakes I make while speaking, or even anything, you'd mistake me for not having English as my first language and only language. The kid doesn't write back. Well, he does, but not as much as he used to. We used to send each other letters every week. I suppose it's about that time, though. He's getting all grown up. Stan watches the two of you sit back down, his brows furrowing. The admission clearly affects him. I'm sorry to hear that, Hattie. Family's supposed to check in with each other. That's just how these things are. She smooths her hands over her lap and speaks before Stan can protest. How the fuck are you even getting the letters back from... You're on a boat! How are you getting the letters? I can understand giving them. Go to a village, and if they got like a post office or anything, do that. Shit. How are you getting the letters back? Hardy kept talking... Oh, fuck me. Hardy kept talking about some new opportunity just before his letters quit coming in as often. A job in a town a couple 100 miles north of here. I had a bad feeling then, but Hardy told me it was just nerves. I was just fussing, since he's never been so far away. But I trust my gut, and I know there's something fishy going on. There have been rumors going around town, you see, about sailors' minds getting all scrambled, talking about weird fish and seeing things that can't exist. I know it's easy to lose yourself at sea, even if you're on the drink, but then they go missing. Stan and Ford straighten, exchanging a look with one another. Unease settles under your skin. That explains the missing persons posters and things we heard from other members of your village. You're saying those reports of odd fish came from the affected sailors? So you've heard of the rumors, then? What you might not know is how all those sailors went north, just like my Hardy. So worried he's gotten mixed up in whatever got to them, too. What makes you think that? His letters lately, they've been so strange, saying impossible things, just like those sailors. In the last one he sent me, he said, you should come visit, Gran. You'd love it here. The weather's as warm as summer in the south. It'd be good for you. That was 3 months ago now, in the early spring. I haven't heard from him since. As warm as the south? Or in the south? Wait, didn't you say the town is north of here? That's why it's so strange. Such conditions shouldn't be geographically impossible. Ford has an excited gleam in his eye. For the love of God, stop being excited. I will smack that out of your face! But Hattie doesn't notice it, misinterpreting his comment. She wrings her hands together. But never you mind all that. Would you like some more tea? Girl, I'm worried now for your grandson. Yo, worms if it's our species. What the fuck is our species doing to these people? It's our species. It has to be our species or something like that. But either way, what the fuck are our species doing? Uh-huh. Look, Addie, there's something about us you should know. We aren't really tourists exactly. I'll be blunt with you. My brother and I are what you call experts in the field of the strange and unusual. Easy expect. I'm the muscle and the good looks. Shut up. Girl. In the nicest way I can put this, Stan, in the nicest way I can put this, while I have an attraction to you, very much so, your twin brother was the reason why I like older people now. I went from... this was when I was, like, really young. I went from having a crush on Dipper, and then I saw Ford for the first time, and I was like, oh, damn. Oh, hello, sailor. Hello, 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 hello. And it just went fucking 180. Over the past couple of years, we've traveled along the Atlantic and the Pacific coasts in search of exactly the types of situations you'll describe. Can you fucking stop going? Actually, motherfucker! If the rumors around town do indeed hold some merit, which I believe they do, we would be inclined to look into it. Basically, this whole disappearing sailor thing is right up our alley. So if your grandson were involved... Hattie considers them for a moment and smiles. I just knew you weren't tourists. The response makes both brothers blink, taken aback. Even you hesitate. Most humans brush aside rumors like these as delusion. Instead, Hattie nods to herself, looking at the three of you. She folds her hands together. I have a favor to ask of you, and I think you already know what I'm going to ask, but would you please find my grandson for me and just let him know his grandma is worried about him? Girl, we're gonna find your grandson in some precarious situation only in fan fictions or Rule 34 I've seen. He's gonna be in some kind of precarious situation I've only seen in fan fictions or Rule 34. I don't know which it's gonna be. Either one's not good, girl. Either one's not good. Neither are good. I don't know which one it's gonna be, but I think the Rule 34 is worse. But it depends on the type of fan fiction we're talking about here, girly pop. Both are worse. Both are not good. And there's the catch. Ford is too intrigued about the development to look bothered, though. Stan seems more focused on repairing this family's bond. Ow! Oh! Yeah! Ow! Ow! Yes! That sounds like Stan. Stan wanted to repair his family bond. Oh, yes, that sounds like a Stan thing. Yes! I know it's a lot to ask, and we've only just met, but if he's in trouble, I'm willing to pay, even if it means... how much are we talking? Ford elbows Stan's side while clearing his throat. I was just joking. Unless... Unless... Money! Can you tell us more about this town? Hattie nods, fetching some of Hoddie's letters from a nearby counter. She leafs through the worn papers, allowing Ford to look through some of them. I can't read words. It's a town called Ancrake. From what my grandson's told me, about a week-long travel from here. Ford brings out his journal, nodding passionately as he describes Hattie's words. She continues to give as much information as she can, including directions to town. This was the last thing he sent me with his most recent letter. It's different from his other carvings somehow. She rises and brings over a wooden figure from the fireplace. The intricate details are a stark contrast to the other figures, breathing with lifelike quality. When she shut the fuck up, phone. She sets it down on the table. Your blood goes cold. It's beautiful, isn't it? Hoddie said something about making it as close to the real thing, but I wasn't so sure what he meant by that. It was a mermaid on the fireplace. It was a mermaid on the fireplace. It was either a mermaid or a siren on the fireplace. But I didn't bring it up because I saw the multi-bear and I got really intrigued why the fuck there was a multi-bear. Yep, it's our species. Our species. Yep, it's our species. I was right. Our species is fucking up all these sailors. That's a carving of the Kraken. Oh! But you said on the fireplace. Girly Pop, you said on the fireplace. The one on the fireplace is a mermaid or a siren. The octopus-looking thing is near the window. The words spill from your mouth before you can stop them. Ford turns to you, brows raised high. The glowing shit is hypnotizing these bitches. I was right. It was either fanfiction or Rule 34 type shit. Oh, so you know what it is. That's what my grandson called it too. But that doesn't look like it's a good thing based on your reactions. No, not all good, just that's so stunned, right? Nailed that detail. Would it help to bring it with you? Yes. No. Ford's curiosity is a fire in his eyes when he looks at you. Your stomach churns. You should probably stop talking. Hattie pulls the figure into her lap, running her fingers along the walls in the wood. Her expression softens. Actually, I'd rather hold on to this, now that I think about it. So, will you think about it? Will you help me find my boy? Girl, in a heartbeat, I'm saying yes. Give me the option to decline or accept. I'm accepting it in a heartbeat. This poor woman. The twins are silent for a moment. Stan stares at the tablecloth, the muscles in his jaw flexing. It's not right that you're sitting here in the dark without knowing how your family's doing. Being separated for so long, it's a terrible feeling. Oh my god, these two! Oh my god, Stan knows. Stan knows how it feels. Oh. I mean, both of them know, but Stan especially. Oh my god. Stan and Ford share a look, their expressions intense. We'll find him. Girl, I don't even need an option. We're all accepting in a heartbeat. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. A weight visibly lifts from Hattie's shoulders. Oh my god, this queen. Oh my god. Can I just give this woman a hug? Please, I'm begging you. Please, let me hug this woman. I'm begging you. She exhales a deep breath and rounds the table, pulling the twins into a hug. Oh, thank you, dears. You have no idea how much this means to me. She hugs you too, sniffling. Oh my god, I get to hug her. Oh my god, I can read the future. Let's fucking go. It's the least we can do after you saved us back there. Least we can do is an understatement. We're saving her son. Relief in her eyes is palpable. I knew I could trust you, Free. Her words hanging in the air for a moment. Then she claps her hands together, searching your faces. How long will you be staying? You can stay the night here as long as you need. That's a really nice offer, but we were planning to ready our things for departure tonight. Oh, so soon, are you sure? The twins nod. Well, let me get you some food for the trip then, and Alice. She grabs something from the nearby counter. Returning to your side, she offers you a block of wood and a whittling knife. I want you to have these. Carving always helps Hoddy. So maybe it can offer the same comfort to you. It certainly helps pass the time, what with the long trip you have had ahead of you. I'm accepting her gift in a fucking heartbeat. What do you mean I have the option to deny it? Fuck that option. I'm accepting that gift. Girly pop, you're a queen. Give this woman her crown. You reach forward and watch as she sets the gift in your hands. The block of wood is oddly calming, coupled with the weight of the knife. I can also use the knife as a weapon. You never know. I got the satch, and I got the knife. Put the shit from the satch on the knife. You're gonna be burning someone when you stab them. Oh my gosh. I have ideas. The block of wood is oddly calming, coupled with the weight of the knife. Firelight gleams along the blade. You're unaccustomed to the warm feeling that blossoms in your chest. First Ford with the spice he gifted you, and now Hattie with this whittling knife and wood. You don't think you'll ever get used to it. Thank you, Hattie. Anything for a friend. I got the fucking knife! Ford rises, clearing his throat. You and Stan follow suit. I believe it's best we begin our departure, but thank you again, miss. Oh, it's just Hattie, dear. Don't you run off just yet. I'll get you that food for your trip. Oh my god, and she's giving us food. This woman is a queen. She deserves all the love in the world. Ah. She heads off into the kitchen and Stan nudges you lightly with an elbow. Now you can make some sick figures, you know? Ford's made a few himself. My skills are only amateur. Stan mocks his brother's tone while making a hand puppet, and it helps to ease the tension in your shoulders. Ford smiles and shakes his head. He's a big fat liar. You should see the stuff he makes for his and Dipper's I was about to say D&D. D&D and Morty games. D&D and Morty? You recall that symbol on one of the books in Ford's study. Ford stares at you, mouth agape. You swear he almost gasps. Stan groans. Ah, now you've done it. I managed to go a week without his nerd game. A week? Damn. That's a world record. Oh, hush. You've grown to love it ever since our encounter with Probabilidor and the Annoying. I'm sorry, what? Alice just standing there like, who? Who the fuck named their child that? Hattie returns with a basket of goods. Oh my god, it's a basket. It's a food. Basket of food. Oh, my lord, yes. Thank you for helping me. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Anything for a friend. Hattie smiles, pulling you into another hug. And I get another hug from her. Yes, the queen. Her voice is warmed by your ear. Be careful, alright? I know you'll keep these boys safe. Oh, fucking hell I will. Hell yeah, I will. Hell yeah. She hugs the twins next, handing the basket to Stan. She also pulls out a letter, the envelope inscribed with neat cursive. She hands it to Ford, who takes it carefully. I'd like you to give this to Hoddy. If he wonders about Euphry, this will let him know I sent you. And pinch him for me, will you? Making his grandma worry all sick about him. I think your grandson either was or still is under some kind of hypnosis. I've seen enough Rule 34 in fan fictions to know where this is heading. Your son may be dead. Your son may have gotten eaten under the hypnosis. I've seen enough of those two combined regarding that. But still. Oh, I got that covered for you, Hats. He'll be writing back to you in no time. You exchange your last round of goodbyes, bundling up in your coats. You tuck Hattie's gift into your inner pocket. She sees the three of you out as you go, lingering at the doorway and waving goodbye despite the cold. When she's finally out of view, you ghost a hand over your coat, your focus centering on the whittling knife. I'm gonna know that this knife is going to kill that bitch. Not Hattie. Never in a million years. But I mean the Kraken. I'm gonna kill that bitch with that knife. Watch it. Hattie had been so kind. This warm feeling in your chest from a human, it's unexpected, and certainly not unwelcome. You can't help but smile. And the twins. Hey, we're after Alice. You blink, looking over to find Stan and Ford staring at you. I was gonna ask if you're, alright with the whole thing. I mean, Six and I are gonna help Hattie. No question. These are the kind of things we're searching for. As we've mentioned, it would be wise if you stayed with us until you recovered, just to ensure nothing goes awry with your condition. But you don't gotta investigate with us if you don't want to. Not everyone's into the whole anomaly thing, so we just wanted to make sure you didn't feel like we're dragging you along. As anomaly myself, I suspect they have little reservations. Ford. You can't help but smile. You don't even try to correct Ford this time. These two, the more time you spend with them, the more interested you become. You've always treaded carefully around humans, what with your own few experiences and the stories from your people. But around Stan and Ford, it's a little easier. Besides, you want to stay. You don't have to worry, I'd like to help. Ah, see, Stanley? I assured you they would be fine. It's called common courtesy, Sixer. Can you stop fucking nerd emojiing every single time? You would surprised. You would be surprised at how uncommon that notion actually is. Oh, here he goes again. And there they go, bickering again, just like they did this morning at the deck. You match their pace as they walk, listening to their conversation as you brace yourself against the cold. After a while, the Stan of War 2 comes back into view, swaying idly at the docks. It's odd how these two humans made your experience in a human village pleasant. You hope this next one will be the same. As for the journey that awaits the three of you, whatever mysteries lie ahead, you look forward to them. So that's how much it moves each time. That indicates there's going to be quite a few chapters then, given how much the ink moves from each chapter. Oh lord. Especially of how long that trail goes. Look at how long this trail goes. There's going to be quite a few chapters, isn't there? Given the story, I understand. Our time in the village... Our time in the village proved more successful than I originally anticipated. Not only did we find reasonable grounds for an anomaly here, but I know it will show I know it will show like the caption and all that, but I want to struggle reading his handwriting. But our next subject of pursuit brought to us by a kind old woman named Hattie regarding our visitor shopping with Blank was quite pleasant. Even when things took a turn at the pharmacy, they helped me with little hesitation. And their response when I checked in with Blank afterwards. Let's say to say that my fascination only grows. Perhaps Blank will reveal more to me soon, and maybe I could show Blank a few ways to carve a figure with the whittling knife Hattie gifted them. Well, despite the fact that I deleted the game after this, it still saves. So, I take that as a win. You have reached the end of chapter 2. Chapter. Ah, yeah, I love chapter 2. I love chapter 2 so much. Yeah. Chapter 2. You have reached the end of chapter 2. Peels. Please feel free to check out our credits menu for everyone who worked on the project so far. I remember seeing the credits anyway, but like. There's the writers. And there's the artists. The editors and... Oh. No, that just leads to links then. Ah, so there's a second image for Stan. And I got that one in the first time I played it. But yeah, that's the entirety of chapter 2. After playing chapter 1 as well, because I need to refresh my ass on what the fuck happened. But yeah, that's the entirety of chapter 2. And I fucking love where this story is heading. I am all in for it. I fucking love where this story is heading. I'm all fucking in for it. Yeah, boy!